as you guys take a look around this barn, you will see around 2,400 girls in here. We are going to keep all of our girls for around 3 years, and they will have around 6 litters of piglets while they're here on the farm. So average 2 litters a year. An average litter size for us is around 15 to 16 piglets. Our largest litter was 32. If you guys look towards the left of the barn, you may have noticed that there are some stalls over there, and those are the breeding stalls. All of the girls that are in those stalls are either in the process of being bred or they're waiting to be confirmed pregnant. And we are going to confirm their pregnancy after about 28 days of breeding, and that'll be done by using a sonogram machine. All of the breeding that we do on our farm is done through artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is a lot safer for our pigs and for our farmers. It is a lot more efficient, but overall it does give us a better control over their genetics. We are going to breed each girl 3 consecutive days in a row during her heat cycle, and she would typically go into heat every 21 days. You guys may have noticed that the girls in those stalls do have some different stripes down their backs, and that's going to tell us how many times she was bred during that one heat cycle. One straight line towards her tail will mean she was bred once, a capital T is twice, a capital I is 3 times. She doesn't always take for that 3rd try, so she will get a capital T with an X through it, and that's usually a good sign that she can see in those first 2 tries. And while our farmers are doing the breeding, they will use something that is called a boar bot. The boar bot is a remote-controlled bred box that they'll tether one of our boars to. They'll then move that boar down those breeding stalls, and he's going to secrete his pheromone, and that's going to help us detect which girl is in a standing heat and ready to be bred. We know that she's in a standing heat because her back will get hard and her ears will perk up. Does anybody know how long a pig is pregnant for? Under 14 days. So that's 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days altogether. So they will spend around 42 days, which is about their first trimester of their pregnancy. It does not harm the girls to be in those stalls for that long. It is going to give them a sense of security. It's going to allow for them to rest without being bothered by those other girls. But overall, it's a lot safer for them. These girls can be pretty mean to each other, and that first trimester is very hard on them, just like it can be for humans. So it is a lot safer for them to be kept by themselves rather than grouped together. After that first trimester, they'll come out into these other pens that you guys see throughout the rest of this barn. These pens are going to hold around 18 to 19 girls apiece, and they will stay with the same group of girls throughout the rest of their pregnancy because pigs have a pecking order and they go up and fight a lot. So if we were to ever introduce any new girls, they would have to reestablish that dominance, and it can be pretty unsafe for them. They will stay in this barn until about their 112th day of their gestation, and then they'll be moved over to the farrowing barn so they can deliver those piglets. We are going to ration their feed in here, so they'll be getting fed twice a day, and they will get 5.5 pounds of food at each feed. And then any of the other stripes that you see down their backs will typically mean that they received their vaccines. Does anyone have any questions?
If you try to breed them 3 times and nothing, are they shipped off?
Yeah, they'll typically be shipped off. Any other questions? You guys are ready. We can make our way down to the farrowing barn so you guys can check out.
You're gonna tie your shoe. Okay.
These 3 piglets that are up here in the window are just up here for viewing purposes. They're only up there for about an hour, and then they will go back with mama. They are from room 3, stall 16. They are out of a family of 21 piglets. These were out of mama's 6th litter, so parity is just another term for litter. And then there's 1 little boy and 2 girls up there. When piglets are born, they can be born with pretty long umbilical cords, so our farrowing techs will trim those down just so they don't get tangled up on anything. They're also going to be born with like a waxy coating around their hooves, and that's going to help protect mama's birth canal as those piglets come out. Once these piglets hit around 2 to 3 days old, we are going to complete something called processing. Processing will consist of us docking their tails, trimming their teeth, giving them a couple of shots, and then they'll receive a premise ID. The premise ID is a series of numbers that will stamp into their left ear, and that's going to help us identify that all of these piglets came from Legacy Farms, which is the farm that we are currently on. We'll then give them a couple of shots. The most important shot that our piglets will receive is a shot of iron. Piglets are born slightly anemic, and mom will not produce enough iron in her milk to give to those piglets, so we do have to give them that boost ourselves. They'll also get a shot of vitamins as well as a shot to help prevent scours. And scours is just diarrhea that can sometimes occur in these piglets. We'll then be trimming down their teeth. Piglets are born with a set of 8 needle teeth, and those teeth are very sharp. They're only about the thickness of our fingernail, and we're just blunting down the very tips of those teeth. If we were to keep those teeth as sharp as they were, they could potentially tear up their mama's underlining as they're nursing off of her, or they could even hurt their other litter mates. Eventually those teeth will fall out and they'll be replaced with a set of 44 adult teeth. And the last thing that we will do is dock their tails. So these piglets do like to bite on the tails a lot, and it could potentially hurt them. It could cause infection in that tail or other issues. But when we dock those tails at 2 to 3 days old, none of those nerve endings have formed, so it does not hurt these piglets at all. We are going to keep those piglets with their mamas until they're 3 weeks old. They'll then get weaned off, and they will go into the room that is behind you guys with all of the piglets together. That is the holding nursery, and that is typically, or they will typically stay in there for a couple of days before they get shipped off to a separate farm where they'll finish growing. Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Why are they born with those little teeth?
So if they were to be out in the wild, they would typically use those teeth to fight off their predators. But since they're kept indoors, they have no use for them.
Is the mortality rate with this process pretty low?
Yes, we've only got about a 5% mortality rate.
This thing.
This meeting?
Any
Why
other?
do they say pigs are so smart?
Good question. I've always just heard that they're very intelligent animals. I don't really know why though.
Are the males castrated here before they leave, or?
Yes, they are castrated when we do the processing as well. Any other questions? All right, if you guys are ready, you can make your way.
becoming chapped or infected. So the farmers are taking several steps or measures to ensure they're producing a clean, quality milk product. I'm going to show you this short video clip on these monitors above your heads here that will allow you to see some of the jobs the farmers are doing.
Ensure that they are operating correctly and do not provide any opportunity for contamination. As you return to the bus, you will pass through the observation area above the milk room, where we will pick up the path of the milk that was pumped from the receiver.
I think no one. It's like, do I have to leave?
Okay, so besides this being a time for the cows to come to the parlor and get their milk, they use this as a social time. So they're walking over from the barn, visiting with their friends. When it's their turn to step through the chute on your left and onto the rotary, they can see the other cows that are already on there, and they can see how the other cows are all nice and calm and relaxed. A lot of them are chewing their cud, and that is a sign of concerns of missing cows. But by seeing the other cows remain calm, it helps her to calmly step onto the rotary. Then you may notice just to the left of the chute what kind of looks like a mud flap hanging there. That's a scanner. That's going to scan each cow's RFID tag in her ear. It'll send her personal information to the meter in whichever slot she's stepping into. That will in turn calculate the amount of milk she's giving. It's going to be measuring her milk in pounds, and that information will be sent to her husband's computer. Do you have any questions at all?
I think so. They seem to know what they're doing. They get on and get off pretty easily.
Yeah. It's really neat though how they just, they know exactly what they're doing. Uh-oh.
Security supervisor over in the main control room, and this is Robo 7, your checkpoint security officer. He's a marvel of modern state-of-the-art technology. Our job here at the security checkpoint is to welcome you to the robotic dairy and show you around a bit. So how about you come on over to the safety fence windows. This tour is presented by Fair Oaks Farms and De Laval. The building you're in is where all the processing equipment resides for the robotic dairy barn. We keep the noisy equipment separated in over here so the environment for the cows is quiet and peaceful, the way it should be for them. Cows, just like parents, enjoy peace and quiet. The whole cow barn has a translucent roof, so there's a natural cycle of daylight and nighttime. At Fair Oaks Farms, we make every effort to make our cows comfortable. In the robotic dairy, the core of this operation is what we call the voluntary milking system, or VMS. In all of our barns here at Fair Oaks Farms, the cows get to move around at will. They get to lay in soft, dry sand beds. They eat healthy feed and drink fresh, clean water whenever they want. Here in the robotic barn, they can even get a little massage from our automated butler brush. To make this all comfortable and to protect against what can be some harsh weather here in the upper Midwest, we have a carefully managed cow climate where we use big fans to circulate the dairy air and to monitor the temperature and humidity all the time. So while you can't go in the area with the cows, there's a constant breeze down there, like you could feel from a ceiling fan. We have one of the large circulation fans here for you to see. Robo 7 here will turn it on for you. See how the anemometer moves? That's how we measure the air movement and quality and keep the whole system in harmony. It's all about comfort, health, and peace for the cows. Now in terms of robots for the system here, older robots like Robo 7 are better for repeat tasks, like showing you this map and doing things like making cars. Mechanically speaking, these robots are capable of remarkable precision and accuracy. Hey Robo 7, why don't you show them a thing or two? Nice job, Robo7. I think we can all agree we need more cowbell. But the robots you'll observe inside the main barn working with the animals are more than just precise. They can see. That's because they have a 3D spatial vision system. And this makes them able to move and attend to the cows in gentle precision, in real time, and in a service-oriented way. You could say, Old MacDonald had a farm, A-I-A-I-O. These smart robots you'll see here at Fair Oaks Farms are designed and adapted for this special use in Sweden. Lots of interesting things come from Sweden. Right, Robo7? All right. That was invented in Sweden as well. Well, folks, that concludes our security briefing, and you're ready to see the main attraction, our cows. Let's see if Robo7 here can do one final demonstration of dexterity, finesse, and gentle precision. He'll push the big button and open the security gate for you. There you go. Have a great time in the Fair Oaks Farms Robotic Dairy Barn.
Fiber beds, and on the right-hand side you can see a feed aisle. Cows are going to get up every 2 to 3 hours to head over to the feed. In this barn, they cannot go straight from their beds to the feed aisle. There's a fence right down the middle. So in this barn, the cows have to come through Smart Gate 1, which is there at the end of the beds. Your girl checking it out right now. When she enters Smart Gate 1, there's a computer in there that will read her RFID tag in her ear and determine if she has permission to head to the feed aisle, or if she needs to give her milk first. If she's in there, she knows. The gate didn't open on the right, so she knows that she has to come on through the finger gates at the end, and she'll end up in the pen around the robotics, and that is called a commitment pen. So she's committed to give her milk when she's in that area. That pen will allow up to 18 cows in there at a time, and there are 3 robotic milkers. So it can get a big crowd, cows can be a bit impatient at times. And sometimes they'll decide to spawn through Smart Gate 2 here in front of us. That is the exit gate. When she enters Smart Gate 2 there's a computer that's going to read her RFID tag and determine if she's been milked already, and if she hasn't, it will open the gate on the left and put her right back where she just came from. Twice. So on the 3rd time, when she goes through the computer, if she hasn't given her milk first yet, on the 3rd try, then the computer will open the gate on the right, showing up the pen right here in front of us. That's a management pen. So the management pen is not a punishment. There's beds on the left and the feed aisle on the right. There are water troughs over the deck, so she'll basically be getting what she wanted when she got up. The drawback is that the computer in Smart Gate 2 will send the farmer a text message and tell on her. So did I give her milk first? Now she's in the management pen. So if farmers for his convenience, he'll come over and check on each cow individually and determine where he wants to send each cow. So he can send some down the feed aisle, put some back into the commitment pen, and he can take cows out of the barn if he chooses to do so. Do you have any questions before we move on here? On different timers, but usually you can see one going when you're here. But when they're parked, they're in a tight V, like over there.
Yeah.
And then they'll open up and reach the outer edges of the aisle before they scrape through, and they're very slow and very low, so the cows will just step over them. Or get out of their way.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
You don't trip anybody up.
But it's going to drag all the waste down to the end of the barn, deposit it in a pit, and then they'll bring over the truck to vacuum it out, take it to the anaerobic digester as needed.
Okay. That one has some interesting facial coloring.
to straighten anything out in her hair that's stuck in her hair and then help her to shed hair.